Hello! So, I had every intention of opening this up with a Christmas song, but YouTube already yelled at me for that, so I'm opening it up with a candy cane. Because it's safer, and no one's gonna yell at me for eating a candy cane. And it goes along with our theme today, which is peppermint. We're making more peppermint bath bombs today. Peppermint is where it's at. And that's why we're doing these bath bombs today. So let's get started. Welcome back to the Simple and Beautiful Life Kitchen. Today we are making bath bombs, and like I said before, we are not experimenting today. We're just making them as a part of our product line that is established, and it is happy, and it is not freaking out anymore, because if you've ever made a bath bomb, you'll know that's what they do. You make them, they lose their minds, they explode everywhere, or they get really crumbly and they completely fall apart. So my ultimate goal with these bath bombs, as well as with our wax melts, which is also something that we have, is to have a soap with a matching bath bomb and maybe a matching wax melt. For some scents that won't work. Like, I feel like toasted hazelnut bath bombs, kind of whatever, you know. But a toasted hazelnut wax melt with maybe an extra hint of cinnamon, delicious. Peppermint will work for bath bombs, soap, and the wax melt. So you can get a 3-piece and just have your entire house smell like peppermint. So that's what I'm working on now. It will take quite some time to get every single soap bar that I have its own matching bath bomb, but that's what we're here for. So, as I said before, let's get started. So, as I'm weighing everything out, I want to tell you about a company they started getting some of my ingredients for these bath bombs from. It's called Florida Laboratories, and I'm impressed by them because what I ordered, it didn't show up. And I was like, what the heck? And you're probably like, well, that's not very impressive. But I reached out to them and I told them what was going on. I was like, hey, I ordered this. It said it was delivered. I gave it time to actually like show up. It still hasn't, like, it's nowhere. And they worked with me on the issue. It turned out that, as I've said, I'm in an apartment right now. We're building a house. The office had it. And I was unaware that the office had it, which is also my fault. But as I was working with the company, they were very friendly. They were very understanding. They were very like, we'll work with you on this. So if you need supplies for your bath bombs, Florida Laboratories, and they also have like really great bulk pricing, which in this expensive world that we're living in right now is essential. So all that to say, Florida Laboratories, very impressive, very sweet, very nice responses. When I messaged them, they responded in a day, and I messaged them at night, so they responded basically as quickly as they could. So let's chat. What is your favorite time of the year? I ask because this is mine. I absolutely love being in the kitchen. I absolutely love making stuff for people. I love baking for people. If I knew more about selling and baking and making food for retail, I probably would. but there is actually a lot of red tape when it comes to selling food, which is great. Very, very, very much agree with that. Totally. But I haven't got it figured out myself yet. So when it comes to red tape, it makes me super nervous, and then I tend to just avoid it altogether. I love this time of year because not only do I get to bake for people, but all of my soaps, they all smell like memories. Like, you know, peppermint or my Oh Christmas Tree soap. I mean, it just smells like a pine forest. I grew up in, or I didn't grow up in Minnesota, but I was born in Minnesota. And one thing I distinctly remember is we used to have a Christmas tree farm. In my head, it was right behind our house, but it was a little bit of a hike. But it was just right there, and it smelled so good. And I mean, it could have been the smallest Christmas tree farm ever, but when you're 2 or 3 or 4 or whatever, I mean, it just seems like a mass world of Christmas trees, and you get to go there on Christmas and you have an entire field of Christmas trees just, so every time I smell my Christmas tree soap, I legitimately think of Christmas tree farms that was right behind my house and fully accessible to me whenever I wanted it to be. So I just really like it. Whether that's sappy or not, I really like it. And the older I get, the more I'm realizing that I don't really like warm weather anymore. I know that it's usually the opposite way around, where people get old and then they move to Florida because it's always warm there. But I was in California for 10 years, and I think cold weather is such a novelty now. Cold, rain, throw in some hail, let's have a thunderstorm, a tornado, like torrential downpour. I'm getting baking soda everywhere. That's how passionate I am about not being in the heat anymore. So yeah, I just love this time of year. My favorite things to bake, and I think they might be my favorite because they're also everyone else's favorite to eat, is peanut butter fudge, chocolate chip cookies, red velvet cookies, and I make a very mean, absolutely 100% from scratch apple pie, but that thing takes just hours. I mean, you're like dedicating your life to it. I'm surprised that to make it, you don't need some sort of marriage certificate, because you're just putting everything you have into it. So I don't make it very often because it just takes, I mean, the amount of time it takes to chop up the amount of apples that you need, a lot. And making them not go brown, it's a science, and it's a lot. So, well, it's delicious. I don't make that one very often. So comment down below, what is your absolute favorite time of year? I could see Easter being a lot of people's favorite too, because it's kind of like Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, where the seasons are changing and it just feels great. Where Easter is the same way, where the season is changing, it's warming up, the flowers are blooming, you get to eat those fun colored M&Ms. So I know a lot of people also really, really love 4th of July, which I do too, but it's hot. And like I said, I'm starting to really appreciate cold weather now. Okie dokie. I am officially working up a sweat, so I had to take my hoodie off. That hoodie, it's like, oh gosh, it's like 12 years old. It was the hoodie that they had when I was a senior in high school, what I bought before I graduated. And it is still nice and warm. I remember vividly buying that hoodie because, like most hoodies, it was probably around 40, in between like 30 and 40 bucks. And I was an extremely broke high school student, zero money. So like that was huge to spend $40 on a hoodie. I had never done that before. I mean, I was broke. So it felt like buying a car, no joke. But it was worth it, you know, because 12 years later, I'm still wearing it. It was a good quality hoodie. It's gotten a little thinner over the years, but it's still keeping me nice and cozy warm. Does anyone else have things like that they bought, and at the time the price of whatever it was that they were buying just seemed like $40? And I mean, at that time I was making like $6 minimum wage. So $40, I mean, that's like a whole day's worth of work. I wasn't even sure if I liked the hoodie that much. So, little story. There's something about, oh, okay, just for the record, do not invest in 2 whisks, because when you mix, it's okay. Invest in 2 wicks. This is a note to myself. So, almost had a blonde moment. Almost forgot the coconut oil. And I was thinking, as I'm stirring and stirring, like, these are just not coming together like they should. What's wrong? Maybe you're missing like half of your liquid ingredients. It's amazing how that works. I'm over here just daydreaming about baking, while simultaneously completely mixing up what I'm actually doing. Alrighty, we have the red and the white. You can't see it on there, but there are sparkles in there because it's gonna be Christmas and hello, you gotta have it, you know? Okay, these are getting closer and closer. I still have not added the citric acid. I add that last because that ingredient is the devil, and everything can go fine and dandy and just be perfect and have the best consistency ever and smell great and look wonderful, and then you put citric acid in it and all your hopes and dreams fall to the floor. So, haven't done it yet. You can absolutely find recipes online that say they don't have citric acid, but I just can't imagine how well that bath bomb would perform, because it's really a chemical reaction between your citric acid, the water, and the sodium bicarbonate or baking soda. So that doesn't sound very good. Sounds like you're going to be making a bath bomb that doesn't explode. Well, that's nice while you're making it. It's kind of the whole purpose once you put it in the bathtub. So, well, I've never tried those recipes and I have no experience with them whatsoever, and maybe they're just the best thing ever. They sound like one of those things that's just way too good to be true. So when you're watching this, what I think is exciting is the time will have changed by then. Everyone always complains about it, but in my opinion, it's just part of the holiday process. So Who doesn't want their house to get nice and dark and cozy, and for the world to get nice and dark and cozy a little earlier? You know, like, I get sometimes it's depressing leaving work in the dark, but if we didn't change the clocks, then you'd have one less hour to go walk around to see people's Christmas lights. That is depressing. You don't want that. So, I know, kind of unpopular opinion, but I really like having the time change. It kind of just changes it up and makes it so that everything's not the exact same all the time. And you know, that's refreshing. And it's gonna go back to normal soon. Everyone always loses their mind. Just enjoy it for what it is, which is cozy. Then we'll go back to normal eventually. I forgot this part. I also use an egg carton to hold them right after I make them, and then I put them in the fridge. Alrighty, that last one, we'll see how it does. Bath bombs? They might be the death of me. They might. They just might. Pretty much all that's left though is cleaning up this baking soda powder mess. And that's about it. I will leave the bath bombs in the fridge overnight. And then in the morning, things are looking cool, then I will get them labeled, all nice and wrapped up. If it's kind of iffy, which we've got rain in the forecast for like forever right now, so if it's raining, I'll probably just leave them in the fridge and wrap them up in a couple days. Because once they've been in the fridge for a couple days, they're usually pretty good. But if I take them right out and it's raining, probably playing with fire. So that is my plan. Other than that, time to clean, then it's time for the gym. As I mentioned before, baked goods are not something that I sell just because of the red tape. However, I have a lot of holiday baking to do within the next week. Maybe we'll have some sort of like cook-a-thon, bake-a-thon, hang and bake. That sounds bad. That sounds like it's gonna get taken off of YouTube. You know what I mean. But yeah, maybe I'll do some sort of thing where we hang out and make fudge, cookies, and pumpkin pie bars. And those pumpkin pie bars, it's a new thing that I'm trying. They have streusel on top, which is already just delicious. But the streusel for this recipe, they make it out of cake mix. Why have I never thought of doing that? You just mix cake mix and butter and you're basically like... I'm blown away, and I'm so excited to try that recipe because that just sounds like such a fabulous idea. The only thing I would probably change is I might add some caramelized pecans or something in there to make it even more like just Thanksgiving-y. But that is what I will be doing in the next coming week. But I'm gonna get cleaned up, go to the gym, and that'll be it for today. I hope you'll have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful day. I hope you're enjoying this nice, cool weather. And I hope that you appreciate the time difference for what it is. You are now allowed to have your nice, cozy lamps on. You have your house all closed in and cozy, just how it should be, for just a brief moment in time until spring comes back around. And then it's all bright all the time. But for now, it's nice, it's dark, it's comfortable, it's closed in, shuts off the world around you. You didn't need to see it anyways. And you just get to snuggle in at night just like you should. So, I hope you appreciate the early dark hours for everything that they have to give. And everything that they have to give is a lot of comfort. And whoever complained about being too comfortable or having the comfort start early? Nobody. So, appreciate early darkness because it's truly fabulous and it's exactly what you should want around the holidays, when the holidays are all about putting up lights. And you know how great your Christmas lights look during the day? Me either, because I can't see them. You know how good they look during the night? Fabulous. That is why it needs to get dark early, so you can appreciate all the nice Christmas lights earlier in the day. That's beautiful. Of course that's beautiful. So, like I said, appreciate it because it's wonderful. And I will see y'all next time. Bye!